Turnpike Sports is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weishottle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishottle. Doug, we just got back from Atlantic City from the East Coast Gaming Congress, and boy, it's always amazing to see the great people there, and it's such a great conference with tons of information about the gambling world.
It's also nice to see it back after a hiatus because of COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great. Like I said, it was great to see everyone again, great to actually physically being in their presence again, not through a Zoom meeting at all or anything like that. And
we should thank Cooper Levinson, Lloyd Levinson's law firm, also Spectrum Gaming for having both Turnpike and House as media sponsors for the event.
It's always a great time there, and it's such great information that you receive from the ECGC, like everyone calls it.
And it was nice to be able to meet face-to-face with people again.
Like I said, it was great to be in the same room with them, not a Zoom meeting or anything like that.
No, and again, great panels, great discussions. Esports, they did casino floor of the future, like they always do for that.
That's one of my favorite topics, casino floors of the future. And they also had one interesting thing about bars and restaurants potentially having sports betting kiosks and accepting sports bet. What was the title of that? You went to that one.
It was a long title. Barcinos, restaurant-cinos, or stadium-cinos. Basically, it was looking at where you're going to be putting a casino or a sports book in the future. And they were talking. Part of the panel was the CEO of Chickies and Pete's. We had Seth Shore from Betterview and Fifth Street Gaming. Wayne Kimmel from 76 Capital.
Very interesting, yeah.
They presented some really good pictures of where they see the sports betting space going, not only for their companies, but for the entire industry as well.
By the way, that was the first time I ever heard the term Barcino.
It's a cool term.
I love it. I didn't know what it was when I saw it on the panel out there. So, no, it was very interesting.
And we're looking forward to next year.
Absolutely. Well, we got a great show for you coming up. We got a Beatin The House segment. We got our Week 8 picks. I can't believe it's Week 8 already. And then I'm going to be talking with Dean Sisun from Profit Betting Exchange. We're going to find out what a betting exchange is, how they differ from traditional sports books, and all about Profit, which is a great site. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Now, before the beginning of the NFL season, there was a lot of talk about how the NFL finally started allowing sports books to advertise during in-game broadcasts of the games, as well as the pregame and the postgame. One each, so about 6 ads.
Yeah.
And
they gotta be honest with you, it seems a whole lot more.
It does.
I don't know why, but it just seems like a whole lot more.
But again, the first 4 weeks were seemingly a windfall for the NFL. They seem to be, angling toward a huge amount of money by the season's end. What we're finding out is that while the first 4 weeks were really great for the NFL, the spending has dropped down a bit by the sports books.
Huh, okay.
According to iSpot.tv, which, by the way, if you love commercials, go to that. iSpot.tv.
So it's all about the commercials.
It's all about commercials,
okay. All right.
And it does stats. I mean, if you subscribe to it, you get the stats, you get the reports on how the commercials are performing, that sort of stuff. It's a really great site.
Yeah.
FanDuel, in the first month of the NFL season, according to iSpot.tv, purchased an average of 41 ad units a week. So they were doing 41 through the first 4 weeks of the NFL season.
All right.
Now it's down to 10, the 5th week.
Huh, okay.
Yeah. We're reporting on the 5th week here. I know we're in week 7, but we're getting the reports from week 5 right now. They're down to 10.
Well, my question is, a lot of things have started since the NFL season. I mean, you have hockey now, you have basketball. Are they rerouting those other ad units? I like saying ad units because it makes me sound like a marketer. Are they rerouting those ad units to, NBA and NHL and things like that?
Well, again, no one really knows.
Okay.
And they're just reporting on the numbers for the NFL. Here you go. Overall, 30 units were purchased by the books in week 4, down from 41 in week 1. Now, with week 5, that figure dropped overall to 14. Now, I guess, you got to take a look at how, a lot of people are making the argument it's too much money. They're trying to overcome the financial commitment, the sports books. Because FanDuel, still the spending champ in week 5, 45% of the spending since the first kickoff, $28 million invested into NFL advertising. DraftKings spent $15.33 million, saw the biggest drop in week 5. They only did $460,000 on an NFL spend.
Well, look, they're spending in different ways. I mean, living in New Jersey, there are betting shows coming out of New York. There are betting shows coming out of Pennsylvania. There's betting shows coming out of New Jersey, and they're all sponsored by the sports books, and it's just constant. I mean, if I turn on TV right now, one of the local stations in New York or Philadelphia or New Jersey, I'll probably see a betting show or a sponsored betting show or a betting show with tons of commercials for sports books in it. So, I mean, certainly NFL, when it started, it was really kind of, the big game in town. It
was actually the only game in town.
Well, certainly baseball was playing. Baseball playoffs were heating up and things like that. But everyone bets on football. If you're a bettor, you bet on football. And now you have the NHL. Now you have the World Series coming up. You have at the start of the basketball season, which is I'm so excited about because what amazing games. The double overtime in the Knicks Celtics.
What a way to open a season.
Wow. It was actually technically their second night of the season, but wow, what opening games for the Celtics and the Knicks. But like I said, you have other things happening.
I got a better reason. Maybe it's too obvious. The first 4 weeks of the NFL season is when all the sports books get their new clients or get their new customers.
Oh, yeah,
so they back off that, and they go to the beginning of the other season.
The promos for the NFL are great for the sports books. I mean, it's absolutely amazing.
A lot of people are pointing out that maybe it's also the responsible gambling programs that are coming out, and they're pulling back like that. I know the NFL just announced they launched a huge one.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly
I have to
how
admit,
that goes.
I mean, I think I said to you, and I think I said it on air, too, I mean, it seems like it's getting a little bit much with the commercials for sportsbooks. Hey, look, I enjoy gambling. I enjoy using sportsbooks. I enjoy reading the commercials for sportsbooks, but that's a lot on TV. I mean,
sort of like what happened with fantasy sports.
Well, that's what I'm thinking of. I mean, what happened with fantasy sports is they just advertise, and I think a lot of people said, hey, come on, enough is enough. I'm just worried if the same thing is going to happen with the sports books. And just give an example for New Jersey, we have about 22 online sports books.
24, I think, right
24 now? Oh, okay. Well,
with Superbook and Play-Up.
Well, it seems like everyone's advertising on TV now. So, we're getting that.
Too much.
Yeah, it's getting to be a little much.
Exit 2.
Rivalry, which is a online gaming company.
What a great name.
It's a great name.
Great name for a corporation.
Esports and social gaming, that sort of stuff they do. They not only introduced their first casino game, Rush Lane, they created a whole new category for online gaming with this product. The massively multiplayer online gambling game.
Wow. Okay.
The MMOGG.
All right.
Now, everyone knows when you're doing esports, you're playing in an MMOG. Massively multiplayer online game.
Okay.
So now they introduce gambling into this.
Okay.
And here's how it works. And it's kind of interesting because it's a very unique type of game, but it's not a unique type of game if you think about it. This should have been like a no-brainer years ago for esports. Rivalry in-house game developed. It's a 3D graphically designed game built on the Unity game engine, which is basically used for PC gaming. Okay, that's where it functions smoothly.
All right.
The game is streamed live on their website, rivalry.com, to customers in any country who can play anywhere at the same time on any device, phone, tablet, PC.
Okay.
Here's how it works. Players join the game through the website. They're dropped into a room with at least, at most, 25 players. So they put a cap on it. 25 people can only play this game at one time.
Okay.
But they have multiple rooms.
Oh, sure. I would guess
you can play otherwhere. They can watch other games being played on the Rivalry website. They can chat with each other in the room. When they are ready to play the game themselves, they pay an entrance fee, or an entrance stake, as they call it, which is put into the prize pool. When they have enough number of players ready to do a game, they haven't said exactly what the minimum number was required to start a game. They get an avatar, and they get dropped into the gameplay system. And all the players begin to play. They race. They go through a sci-fi city that's automatically generated. Each game is different. They have a different city that they race through and fight with each other. And they have to deal with traps throughout this city. They have to deal with other things. They have to deal with other players. They get basically it's like a typical online game, except you're playing for the prize pool.
Does it fall under the gambling laws? I mean, like I said, if I'm in a state that doesn't allow gambling, can I play this, or is that still up in the air yet?
Well, you got to realize what they're doing is they're playing a stake for a prize. It's
more like, is it a sweepstakes kind of law kind of thing? Is that what we're talking about?
It's more like a subscription kind of thing. If you think about it, there's no money in, money out for an individual action, which is basically the definition of betting in a lot of states in the United States.
So money in, money out is gambling. If you play a entrance fee, you could
play in almost,
and that's technically a prize,
right?
So all right.
Yeah.
When you said 3D, I was thinking, oh God, I have to wear those goggles to do this thing.
No, it's not virtual reality.
Okay,
they're two different things.
Okay, so 3D is
basically there's some depth in the screen when you're looking at.
So anyone can play this as long as you have a computer, a cell phone, a tablet, anything, right?
And you join Rivalry.com.
Oh, okay, all right.
So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this new category of gaming evolves, because there's a lot of places out there developing the esports betting sites. I know Pinnacle Sports, they just introduced an esports betting hub where they're actually creating a standalone product for esports that's not part of the overall sportsbook platform that they run and sell to customers. So it'll be kind of interesting to see exactly where they take this new category of massively multiplayer online gambling games. I personally, that's kind of a mouthful to say, but you know what? It's a new category. Congratulations to the Rivalry.
Exit 3.
We're going on a cruise.
All right.
Not really, but we're going to be talking about what goes on a cruise. And
I've never cruised, so I don't know.
We now have real-time sports betting happening on Princess Cruises' Majestic Princess.
It's shocking. I thought they had this before.
They had it in development before. They just launched it. They just actually placed their first bet on the cruise ship.
Did they have the ceremonial first bet? Who'd they have? They have some sports figure or just some random cruiser?
Mark Wilson, Vice President of Product Strategy for Cruise and Tour for Arivia, placed the ceremonial first bet at sea. Ocean Sportsbook, and we talked about this before, but we're going to go through it again because they just actually physically launched this now. Ocean Sportsbook is part of the Princess Medallion Class experience. The Medallion Class experience features high-speed internet powered by a specific internet platform that is specifically for the Princess Cruise Lines. It's high-speed. It also, I was looking at this Princess Medallion Class experience app. It allows touchless payment purchases. You can get into your room just by waving the app on your door.
Right.
And it now has the Ocean Casino and the Ocean Sportsbook. You actually have a full online casino on your app on the cruise. You don't even have to go to the casino on the cruise. You just sit in your room if you want to.
So let's stick with the sportsbook. This is an actual retail sportsbook. I'm assuming they also have kiosks as well.
Yes.
And if you don't want to go up to the window, it's a sportsbook app. You can bet on your
phone.
There
are kiosks. There's no tellers.
Okay. So there's no windows.
No windows.
It's kiosks.
It's kiosks.
And also, you can download an app, and it's the Ocean Sportsbook.
The Ocean Sportsbook is the app.
Okay.
Where when you're in international waters, or if you're docked in a state or jurisdiction, I should say, docked in a jurisdiction that allows legal sports betting, you can bet while you're docked.
Okay.
You go, basically,
I'm assuming also before you get on your cruise, wherever you're at, you can download the app, number one, and I'm assuming you can put money in.
Well, the app also has your ticket information.
Oh, okay. So it's all one big app.
Yes.
Okay. And I guess you can transfer some money into your sportsbook account there?
Yes.
Okay.
You can do all that there.
All right.
What's interesting, I like this feature where it doesn't just function while you're on the cruise. You can actually place a futures bet while you're cruising. Mm-hmm. Say like at the beginning of the NBA season.
And you're out in international waters.
You bet on the Sixers at the beginning of the NBA season to win the championship down the road. Okay. You're not on a cruise back at that point. Maybe you are, I don't know. But, some people bet on the cruise. If you're not on a cruise at the time the Sixers win the NBA championship, by the way, I don't know if they will, but I don't think so. But, you can actually still collect on that bet while you're on land. You can still collect those bets.
Well, I'm assuming they'd put it into your
online
wallet.
Yes,
everyone's calling. Okay,
but this is all part of the, like I said, the Ocean Casino app, where it's developed by Miami. Now they were involved with Delaware North down in West Virginia. They had the Betly app with them, so they are sportsbook developers, software developers. They work with Princess Cruises to develop the Ocean Sportsbook, and the Ocean Casino also is a fully functioning online casino as well. They've got blackjack, slots, poker, roulette, bingo, keno, and lottery.
Okay.
So this is a fully functioning online casino on a cruise that has a physical casino.
Now let me ask you something. You said this works when they dock with places that have allowed gambling.
You're going to ask if they get off the ship.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. But I'm trying to figure out where cruises stop at. I mean, Florida is a big place, but they don't have online gambling yet. No. But if they dock in Florida,
once say like Massachusetts, let's go with that.
Yeah,
because we know they have the Black Falcon.
At the present time, they don't even have poker.
They have the Black Falcon terminal.
Yes,
that's where a lot of the Princess cruise ships dock in the Northeast.
Which, by the way, Black Falcon Terminal is such a great word to hear when someone with a Boston accent says it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say it now the way.
It doesn't sound like the bird, I'll tell you that. Well, it does sound like the bird. But no, if Massachusetts ever gets off their duff and passes online sports betting, if you were on a Princess cruise at that future moment in time that docked in Boston, you'd actually be able to be on the ship and use the app and bet.
But at the present time, since Massachusetts has nothing, you can't do it.
I'm just doing a future case. Okay. The New Jersey Port Authority, if cruise ships docks there, wherever there's a legal jurisdiction for betting, you can actually use this app on the ship.
Okay, but you have to be on the ship.
Yes.
All right.
Exit 4.
And last but not least, we have a trademark exit. I haven't done trademarks in a while.
Yeah, no, it's been a while.
I'm a trademark attorney. I should be talking about these all the time till I'm blue in the face. But we've got a little Fanatics discussion to talk about here.
Fanatics, the clothing company.
The clothing company, soon to be gaming company.
Okay.
Now, if you recall, Fanatics was part of one of the super bids for New York.
Yes.
For mobile sports betting,
yes.
Online gaming, sports betting, whatever you want to call it. They have now, on October 14th, this is very recent because we're taping this about a week after that, maybe a little bit more than that. They have filed 3 trademarks with the Patent and Trademark Office for Fanatics, Fanatics Casino, and Fanatics Sportsbook.
You know, I always like hearing about trademarks because it gives you a sneak peek in what the company have plans for. You know, because when you file a trademark, you have to kind of say what you're going to use the trademark for.
Right.
So, you know, when you read these federal documents that they submit, and I was like, oh, wow, they actually are thinking of that. Well, some companies also place that thinking, you know, we'll do that down the road kind of thing. But,
well, just so everyone understands what happens when you do file a trademark, not only do you have to have the mark itself, whether it's a word or a logo or an image or whatever you're using as your brand, you also have to file the classes that it's going to be used in. Yeah. And there are multiple classes. There's about 41 different international classes that the trademark office recognizes, and you have to have your trademark fit into one or multiple of those classes. And you have to pay fees for each class you file. Listen to some of these services that they filed these marks for.
I can't believe you're not doing a commercial for yourself. By the way, Doug's a trademark attorney.
Oh, I said I was a trademark attorney.
And you do it all the time. You actually have some filing today to do for
yes,
the trademark
As a matter of fact, I got a couple clients I need to do some stuff for after I tape this.
Yes.
But anyway, listen to some of the services they filed for. This should actually give an indication of what they're planning. By the way, they have, as their current CEO for the gaming side, the former FanDuel CEO, Matt King.
Yep.
Downloadable mobile application for betting and gaming. An app.
Yep.
Providing casino facilities. So at some point, they're either going to be talking about a retail sports book or something along those lines, or a retail casino, or, you know, some kind of branding that they're going to be doing. You know, that's going to be
that's what we're
physical.
Yes, that's what we're gathering from reading what they filed, what they hope to use the mark for, or what they plan to use the mark for.
Because a casino facility is a physical property.
It's a retail thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conducting and providing facilities for betting, gambling, and gaming. Reinforces what we just talked
retail.
about. Providing a website featuring news and information in the field of sports and sports betting.
Okay.
So they're going to have a news section.
A blog.
Yes.
That's a blog.
Conducting and providing facilities for sports betting. Again, that was another. They keep repeating that one. Entertainment in the nature of ongoing Internet protocol television programming in the field of sports. Basically, they're going to have an online show.
Streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entertainment services, namely a continuing program about sports accessible by television, satellite, and computer networks. They're going to be buying time on a television station to actually do a show.
Well, you know, that's what we're gathering. We're not saying that they're definitely doing this.
I'm
but
just reading into
just from
reading
the filing,
tea leaves here.
just the filing.
Entertainment in the nature of television sports news shows.
Okay.
Entertainment services in the nature of fantasy sports leagues.
Okay, good.
So I don't know why they didn't do Fanatics Fantasy as a trademark. That may be something down the road where, you know, maybe there's some kind of connection going on where they're going to acquire a fantasy sports outfit.
Who knows? Maybe. But that's an interesting point. Why didn't they do Fanatics Fantasy?
I think they're going to acquire somebody.
Oh.
That's the easiest thing to do.
That's your best guess.
That's
right?
my best guess.
We don't know anything. No. We're just trying to figure out from what they're filing.
Providing a website that provides information regarding sports league player performance and statistics.
Okay.
That's prop betting. That's fantasy sports. Organizing, conducting, and operating fantasy sports tournaments.
Okay.
Providing news and information in the field of sports. Entertainment services, namely providing podcasts in the field of sports.
There you go.
They are doing everything.
Yeah,
basically. They're covering all their bases.
Should be let me tell you something. It should be a great website.
It's going to be a very interesting vertical they're creating. This could be a self-contained.
I love
everything.
what they're doing. I love what they have planned.
That's
I love
all
where
you
their
can say.
head's at. I love where their head's at. And today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, coming up, we have a Beatin The House segment. We have our Week 8 picks. But coming up, I'm talking with Dean Sisun. He is the CEO and co-founder of Profit Betting Exchange. We're going to find out what a betting exchange is, how it differs from traditional sports books, and everything you wanted to know about the Profit Betting Exchange.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
Having a rough morning after a long night out? Stayed at the party a little too long and you have work the next day? Well, we've all been there. That's why there's Morning Recovery. Morning Recovery is the flagship product of More Labs, and it's scientifically engineered to outsmart rough mornings. Their patent-pending formula has been designed to boost your body's natural response to alcohol, rehydrate, and restore your body's vital nutrients. What's that all mean? It means Morning Recovery helps you feel better after drinking. Take one full bottle right before your first drink, between drinks, or up to 1 hour after your last drink. Go get some rest and wake up feeling like $1,000,000. It's that simple. And we've got a special offer for you. Use promo code Radio15 at morelabs.com and get 15% off of your first purchase of Morning Recovery or any of their other great products. That's Radio15 at morelabs.com to take advantage of this great promo of 15% off of your first purchase. Morning Recovery from More Labs, so you can work hard, play hard, and live life without compromise. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. I'm excited to talk to our next guest because he is bringing something new and exciting to the sports betting industry. The name of the company is Profit, and it's a sports betting exchange. We're going to find out what that is and all about Profit when we talk to the CEO and co-founder, Dean Sisun, who's on the line with us right now. Dean, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, and more importantly, thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly. I don't think anyone really gets that right, so we're off to a hot start here.
Well, let me tell you something. With a name like Weishadel, I'm very sensitive to getting names right. So, But again, thanks for joining us, and I thank you for doing Profit, because I think it's such a great idea. I think it's one of the most innovative concepts in the sports betting industry. How did the company come into being?
Yeah, thanks for the kind words. So this has been floating in my head for 4.5 years now. Shortly after I graduated, buddy of mine from university, who's now my co-founder, we started chatting while we were at our desk jobs that there should be a peer-to-peer betting exchange in the United States. We looked into it, saw that it was an incredibly difficult process to get into the U.S. for startups. You need a partnership with a casino. You need millions of dollars in order to get this partnership. You need credibility and traction. There's a massive chicken and the egg issue.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was look to the UK, get licensed out there, prove out a concept, and then bring it back over here. So learned a lot about betting exchanges out there, brought it back here, saw there was a clear need in the market for it, and we're nearly there. We're going to be live in Jersey in December.
Oh, that sounds great. I'm always curious how people get into the business of sports betting. Were you interested in sports betting before you came up with the idea of Profit, or did you come across it once and you were talking to a friend and this just light bulbs went on? I mean, how did you get involved in the sports betting business?
No, I'm a huge sports bettor, and I think it's important that our strategy around Profit has been to strictly hire people who are super passionate about sports betting, who understand the sports bettor. It's really important to build your platform, build your user experience, because it's all about the consumer, right? But I initially got into sports betting in high school. My dad entered me into his office pool, a spread pick'em pool. Long story short, I won 3 weeks in a row. I got kicked out. I got super lucky. I didn't really know what I was doing. They threw me out because they didn't want some 16-year-old kid winning every week. And then I got the itch for it, and ever since then I've just been a massive sports bettor. And then around my senior year of college, I started exploring this and started getting a lot smarter in regards to sports betting, and then ultimately came up with Profit, and here we are.
Now, Profit is a sports betting exchange. What exactly is a sports betting exchange, and how does it differ from a traditional sportsbook?
Yeah, so simply put, you're trading against peers, so it's all peer-to-peer. Every transaction is facilitated in that regard, so there is no house. So if I were to flip a coin against you, and you have heads and I have tails, we shake hands, we both throw $100 down. The winner nets $100, right? Mm-hmm. I'm risking $100 to net 100. At a sports book on a 50-50 outcome, we typically see minus 110. You're risking at the best price, you're risking $110 to win 100. Now on an exchange, what's done is those coin flip bets between me and you, they are all aggregated into common prices. So if someone wants to bet on the Giants at even odds, and someone else wants to bet on the Jets at even odds, let's say someone wants to put $1,000 on one side and $1,000 on another, those people are anonymously matched. So the idea of an exchange is because you're facilitating peer-to-peer transactions, you're getting better prices across the board, and there's no central dictating authority that tells you how much you can or can't bet. So you can put down as much money as you want. This is particularly advantageous for sharp bettors or above average bettors that get limited on sportsbooks. They can get down as much as they'd like. So it's better prices across the board, more liquidity, and no limits.
Now, sportsbooks need to get a license to operate in a state. I mean, is it the same procedure for a betting exchange? And is it more challenging if you have to get a license as a sports betting exchange? Because I would imagine in some states, regulators may not be too familiar with sports betting exchanges. Do you have to educate them on what a sports betting exchange is before they really understand the concept?
That's correct. It is the same license that we ultimately receive from the state, but there are a lot more moving pieces before we get fully regulated. So, for example, because our wallet functions a little differently than a sports book. I'll give you an example. let's go with that Giants-Jets. If I have $1,000 on the Giants at even odds, if I'm on a sportsbook or an exchange, $1,000 I deposit into my wallet. I take that $1,000, I put it on the outcome. Simple enough. Now there's $0 in my wallet, right?
Yeah.
If I were to place $1,000 on the Jets at even odds on a sportsbook, I have to deposit $1,000 more. I place it on the Jets. I have $2,000 out there. However, no matter what happens, I'm going to net $0, right? Because I have the same amount of money at the same odds on opposite sides of each outcome. On an exchange, what you can do is place $1,000 on the Jets without actually having to lay any more money out. In fact, when you put $1,000 on the Jets in this scenario, $1,000 actually goes back into your wallet because you have initially deposited $1,000. Your worst case scenario is $0. No matter what happens, I have $1,000 on the Giants at even. I have $1,000 on the Jets at even. I'm going to net $0. So that money goes back into your wallet as like additional velocity for you to use. So as you can imagine, because that wallet functionality is so mechanically different than a sportsbook, our reporting measures are a lot different to the state. Mm-hmm. So we report on handle, we report on revenue, we report on every transaction log that goes in and out of a user's wallet. It's just materially very different. So that's been a challenge with regulatory bodies to get over. And then additionally, we have market makers who are coming onto the platform deploying very high volumes of liquidity, something that sportsbooks have not seen before because they don't want market makers to come onto their platform because they're a little more successful than the average user. So getting them licensed and figuring out the process of what their trading behavior will be like is also another challenge we have to face. So there are unique challenges that we've been facing with them, and they've been great with us. They're very smart, the regulators. It takes a long time to get everyone to wrap their arms around everything because this is so different and so unique. So it's definitely been there's been a lot going on, but that's part of the reason why we've been working on this for so long.
What states in the U.S. are you focusing in on right now? And are there certain states more open to the idea of betting exchanges?
Yes, there are some states that are open than others. New Jersey is the first state we're targeting. We'll be live there by the end of football season. We're targeting December at this point. They've been historically the most progressive state, New Jersey. Obviously, they legalized betting first once that was repealed. And they've been great. They're just trying to make sure that everything is compliant and everything is A-okay when it comes to money coming in and out of people's wallets. And then there are some states that are, they're behind New Jersey in that sense. They maybe aren't fully up to speed entirely with what a betting exchange is. I mean, we are one of the only ones out there right now that is going after the market. So it's taking us a while to go state by state because we're teaching everyone a new concept. But New Jersey for right now is our immediate target. Indiana will be next, and then a couple states after that. But there are some states that aren't as friendly to exchanges that we're going to avoid.
Tell us about what Profit is doing in New Jersey. You are now in the pre-registration launch stage, and it sounds like an incredible deal for people who sign up now. What's going on right now in New Jersey with Profit?
Yeah, so like you said, we've begun that pre-registration campaign. And really what we're trying to hammer across here is the more people that sign up and join the platform, the better it is for everyone. And we're trying to incentivize people accordingly. So like I alluded to earlier, an exchange gives more liquidity and better prices to individuals, right? And an exchange gets stronger the more people that use it. So if you have 10 people using an exchange, the prices aren't going to be great. You're not going to be able to get as much action done as you want. That's no fun for anyone. But if everyone comes together and says, you know what, I want to bet on an exchange rather than a sports book, it's advantageous for everyone. So that was the idea behind the pre-registration campaign that we have going on in New Jersey right now before we go live. For every 500 people that sign up, our deposit bonus increases by $25 upon launch.
You know, one of the great things about doing the show and living in New Jersey is the great gaming opportunities for people in the state. So when I ask this question, I'm really asking for myself. This is purely a selfish question. How do you register for Profit? Because it sounds great. I mean, you go to profitexchange.com and then what? Walk me through the process.
So right now what you do is you type in your name, first name, last name, the state that you're in, obviously New Jersey, and you enter in your email, and that's all the info we're taking right now. Mm-hmm. However, once we go live, you'll need to add a few more details. You'll need your full address, your social, a couple other items, obviously your bank account details so you can deposit. The same info that you would need to register at a sportsbook, you would need at Profit.
So initially, what sports will Profit cover, and what types of bets will be offered for your customers?
So we're going live with the 6, I'll call them major leagues, so NFL, college football, NBA, college basketball, and then NHL, MLB. And what we are doing initially is focusing our liquidity. We are really focused, not to use that word twice in the same sense, but on making liquidity extremely important to us. So if we have too many markets for individuals to bet on, people might be betting on, LeBron James is over assists in the first quarter, and that's just naturally a harder market to liquidate than the Lakers -3.5. Mm-hmm. So what we're going live with is the main markets across those major sports, money line, spread, and total. 80-90% of the volume in New Jersey right now comes from those main markets anyway, so we want to start there, and then we start building out.
Tell us about how the lines and odds are set for Profit. I mean, when we go there, we see the initial odds. What can customers expect from the lines and odds that are being offered, and how do they go about setting their own odds and lines?
Yeah, so the initial odds, there are 2 scenarios here. So number one, this is where market makers come into play. Mm-hmm. And a market maker is kind of like, you can think of it as a low-vig sportsbook acting on its own behalf on our exchange. So the reason they can get better prices, simply put, is they don't have to put any of the marketing expenses that sportsbooks have to do in order to get users. They just come on our platform and they start offering prices. So you'll see something like -103 or -105 on each side of a 50-50 money line outcome. Mm-hmm. Let's use that as an example.
Okay.
And if a user doesn't want to take that price, but rather request their own price, it's right there in the bet slip for them. So you click on the odds, you type in the odds that you want, and then your offer goes up on the marketplace. And it's either taken by one of these market makers or it's taken by another patron who's using the platform.
Now, one of the most exciting news coming from Profit is your deal with Caesars Entertainment. Can you tell us something about that deal, and what does it mean for your customers?
Yeah, so as a customer on Profit, you actually wouldn't know. It's very behind the scenes, so you wouldn't know that we are partnered with Caesars. It is very exciting for us internally. But for customers' sakes, you're looking at Profit's brand when you come onto the platform. So Caesars allows us to go into New Jersey. It allows us to operate in Indiana, which is absolutely massive. We're also talking about additional states. And then they help us protect customers when it comes to money laundering behavior. They have a lot more experience than us when it comes to that. So in those areas, they've been great, and that's where we're seeking their help, and that's how it's advantageous to us and to customers. But if you're a customer using Profit, you wouldn't see Caesars brand anywhere. You wouldn't really know that they are helping us out or them out. But needless to say, it's advantageous for us and for them.
Now, how many states do you figure Profit could be in the coming year? And I also know that Canada just allowed single event sports betting. Do you see Profit in Canada as well in the future?
1,000%. I think Ontario is arguably the best market to go into. Mm-hmm. So we have our sights set on that but in terms of other states, we've been looking at Iowa, we've been looking at Colorado. We have our sights set on Ohio when that goes live, talking to a couple market access partners out there. So those are the immediate targets we have. It really varies based on what the latest legislation is and what it looks like or what's upcoming in certain states. So, I'm making up an example. This will never happen, but tomorrow California can come out and say, hey, we're doing the New Jersey model for sports betting, and we're looking to implement this tomorrow. And then all of a sudden we would drop everything we have and try to go into California, right?
Yeah.
But this is what we have our sights set on now. Ontario, like I said, extremely attractive, 15 million people there, open market, very cheap to enter, very advantageous for price-sensitive bettors, and then also looking at Iowa, Colorado, Ohio.
Now, every week you hear about media deals in the sports betting industry. I mean, is that something Profit is looking into, doing something in the media or doing a deal with a media company?
Yes and no. I think you'll see some news come out fairly soon that'll be very exciting and involves the media, but not a media company directly. It's something we looked into and are still looking into, but quite honestly, we're a small company. One of the biggest questions I get all the time from industry partners or investors or employees or whoever, or prospective employees or whoever it may be, is how are you going to compete with FanDuel, DraftKings, and all these big guns when they're doing deals with the MLB and the NFL and whatnot? And I just say to them, we're not going to beat them at their own game. We're not going to outspend them. We're not going to be plastered all over TV. We're not going to be plastered across stadiums to start. We're going to play our own game. We're going to beat them on price, and we're going to beat them on liquidity, and that's what we're going to do. And it doesn't involve getting media partnerships lined up. That's not our game. Once we're big enough and we have a big enough name for ourselves, and one day hopefully we're worth billions of dollars, then that'll be fun getting a lot of media partners. But right now, it's realistically it's just not in the cards.
Well, you actually predicted my next question, because a couple years ago, if you told me sportsbooks would be making deals with professional leagues and colleges and universities, I would have thought you were crazy. But they're doing it, and it's incredible. I mean, in the future, do you see Profit maybe getting involved with one of the major leagues or colleges or universities or something like that? And do you need to get involved in the professional leagues and colleges to be successful? Do you think you can take another path to success other than like a FanDuel or a DraftKings?
I do see us getting involved. Really all it takes is one partner, one team, one league to say, this is the future of gambling. This is more fair for the consumers. This is kind of a no-brainer. This does exist in other countries in the world, and it took them a while to get their feet set. But eventually they started forming partnerships with teams because they realized this is the future. This is the key to more fair gambling. People save a lot of money or win more money using our platform. So all it takes is one. How quickly it'll happen, it's so tough to predict. I don't know. Could happen in 6-12 months. It could happen in 2-3 years. That's how I envision it. I'm going to, for the time being, sit and let it come to us. Not going to force the issue here. Let us get our feet set. Let us get a nice, solid marketplace going, and then we can reassess. So for right now, that's our focus. That's what I think.
Now, you're in New Jersey, I'm in New Jersey, and we both know New Jersey has a lot of online sports books, and a lot of them offer the same thing. Believe me, I read their commercials every week, and I'm sort of reading the same thing over and over again. Do you think the uniqueness of Profit will make you stand out in a crowded market like New Jersey?
100%. I really wholeheartedly do. New Jersey, like you said, there's 20 some odd sports books. I think the number's 22 in New Jersey right now, and they all offer the same thing.
Yep.
There's no differentiation. There's three pillars to compete in sports betting, and the first one is product, the second one is promotion, and then the third one is price. When you initially sign up for a sports book, you get that first promotion offer. $1,000 risk-free, $500 risk-free. There are deposit matches. There are all sorts of interesting calculations, expected value calculations you can get to, which actually determine what the best value is for you there. I won't go on a tangent on that, but that's one element to a sports book. That's one element that gets people in the door. The other element is the product, right? How sticky is it? How high quality is my user experience? Is one user experience substantially better than the other? If not, what's going to attract me to this sportsbook one day versus another? I think the average New Jersey user has 3 sportsbook accounts for a reason. They're price shopping.
Yeah.
And finally, it's price, and that's where known is competing. People do odds boosts. You see FanDuel do a handful of odds boosts a day. Caesars does a ton of odds boosts a day. If you actually calculate the fair value on each odds boost on Caesars, you'll learn that a lot of them aren't actually properly priced. So, it's kind of a bit of a fallacy. WinBet, same thing. All of these books, just that's their method on competing on price, because they can't physically operate a low vig sports book. It'll never work. There's been a graveyard of those types of companies. So there needs to be an exchange that comes in and competes on price, and it's why I think that an exchange does fit into this market. It's the same thing across the world with Betfair, who owns FanDuel. They are the biggest exchange in the world. They're in the UK, and they sit side by side with all these sports books for the people who are more price sensitive. It's kind of a no-brainer if you want to get a better price on straight bets. If you're looking to take a teaser or a parlay or a round robin or whatever it may be, then a sports book is your best bet. But if you're trying to place a straight bet, the exchange fits right into the market. And that's where we see ourselves.
Another great thing about Profit is your website, profitexchange.com. It's packed with information about Profit. What can people expect to see when they go to profitexchange.com?
Today?
Yeah.
What can they expect to see, or once we go live?
Well, today and once you go live. I went to profitexchange.com, and it was a lot of information. It answered a lot of questions. It was so great. It gave you a good idea of what Profit is. Where do you take that website, and where can we expect to see in the future about that website?
Yeah, so today our whole point of emphasis has been on consumer education, and will continue throughout launch. An exchange is only as successful as our users take it, right? Mm-hmm. So back to what I was saying earlier, an exchange gets more powerful with the more users that come on. And the more users that come on, the tighter prices get, the more liquidity that's out there. We're creating this free-flowing user experience betting platform that people have never seen before. So the key to it, if you distill it all the way down to its simplest form, is people understanding the exchange. And that's not to knock on people's level of betting intelligence, but rather this is a brand new product in a nascent industry. Like it's a tall order to ask people to just come on day one and understand what's going on. So part of this pre-reg campaign that we've set up is to assist people to understand with what's going on in the exchange. We encourage anyone out there to reach out to us, whether it be on Twitter or our contact email or whatever it may be, to ask questions about the exchange. We've been trying to do a lot on Twitter just to show what our user interface is going to look like, what the experience is going to look like, because it will functionally be a different experience, but it's all for the best intention of the user. And when we go live, same thing. Everything will be focused on consumer education. Granted, we'll be live, and we'll be handling people's money, and it won't be just, here, read this, and let me know what you think. It'll be, when you're using this product, where are you getting confused? What would you like to see differently? Those will be the points of focus once we're live. But right now, it's please read our information. Let us know what you think. Mm-hmm. Can we answer any questions for you right now? Everything is focused on consumer education.
Give us a snapshot of the coming year. When do you expect to go live, and what can people expect in the coming months from Profit?
I expect December. I won't sign anything that says we'll be live in December, though, because the biggest variable is when we get approved by the DG, which could take more time than I anticipate. So that's when we're looking at New Jersey. Indiana will be shortly after that. We're looking at a time frame between Super Bowl and March Madness.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, it depends on which jurisdiction you're looking at. So we'll be looking, like I said earlier, into Iowa, into Ohio, into Colorado, into Ontario. Quite honestly, I don't have experience with those regulators yet. I don't know how quickly they move. I don't know how historically they have moved with other players. So remains to be seen there, but I can tell you about New Jersey and Indiana. They are coming very soon.
Dean, we're running out of time, but can you give out your website again so people can check out Profit and register like I'm probably going to do pretty soon? Because it sounds great.
So the URL is Profit, Prophet, exchange.com. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Profit Exchange, where we're putting out constantly little UI snippets, education bits. The interface, the website is loaded with that sort of content as well. So, and again, we're encouraging guys to DM us on Twitter, reach out over email, let us know what you think. We're happy to answer anything.
Dean Sisun, CEO and co-founder of Profit, thank you for coming on and telling us about Profit and for bringing something unique and exciting to the sports betting industry. Please come back on and keep us updated on Profit. And thank you for spending some time with us.
I'd love to. That was fun. Thanks for having me.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. With some of the best promotions and offers in the sports betting market, PointsBet simply stands out. PointsBet is the only U.S. online bookmaker to offer points betting, where every yard, every point, every goal, even every play matters. Same-game parlays, good karma payouts, early payouts, and exclusive game day promotions and guarantees for all sports. PointsBet offers more bet types than any other bookmaker in the world, offering a unique set of markets that aren't available anywhere else. And now PointsBet is offering one of the best sign-up offers in the sports betting market today. New customers signing up with code BET21 receive 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Get up to $500 back if your first fixed odds bet loses, and up to $1,500 if your first points betting bet loses. That's code BET21 for 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000 at PointsBet. PointsBet, it pays to be fast. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tax Solutions Now is a complimentary referral service that connects callers to companies that provide tax services.
Money matters. If you owe thousands in back taxes to the IRS, how much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I paid less than I owe.
That's right, money matters. So call Tax Solutions Now and get the IRS off your back. Since 2014, Tax Solutions Now has been a leader in the tax resolution industry. Remove wage garnishments, property liens, fines, and penalties. Qualify for the Fresh Start program or even uncollectible status. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you?
I owed the IRS over $10,000. I paid a fraction of what I owed.
Call now to reduce or even eliminate your back taxes.
I called Tax Solutions Now and got the IRS off my back. Thanks. You saved us a ton of money.
Money matters. How much can Tax Solutions Now save you? Call now and find out.
Call 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377. 800-683-7377.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's Beatin the House segment, where we talk about the casino wins, the slot machine wins, the online slot machines, basically anything you win with regards to a casino, lottery, sports betting. We'll talk about it. We're going to start off this week. I don't think we've been to Mississippi yet, have we?
No, I don't think so. I saw this on the production notes here. Mississippi, huh?
Going to Choctaw, Mississippi.
All right.
The Silver Star Casino at Pearl River Resort.
Never heard of it, but apparently I got to get there because it really pays off well.
Well, just so you know, the Pearl River Resort, it's run by the Choctaw Indians. It is a resort that has 3 casinos on the property. It has the Silver Star Casino, the Golden Moon Casino, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, the Bakhama Casino.
Okay.
All on the property.
Wow. Boy,
it's also got a water park, and it's got some other stuff, too.
I definitely have to get there now.
It's a huge
Boy,
resort in Mississippi. Well, we're going to go to the Silver Star Casino, where an Alabama man won $1.163 million playing the Wheel of Fortune 4D slot machine at the Silver Star Casino.
Now, I've heard of the Wheel of Fortune slot machines, but there are so many different versions of it. The 4D slot machine, what the hell is that? And what is 4D anyway? I mean, are you sitting in a virtual reality kind of thing? What's going on?
This is a cabinet game released by IGT. It's the latest version of the Wheel of Fortune game.
It sounds like it has to be huge. Just
it's
in
a cabinet.
size.
It's a cabinet.
It's a cabinet. Okay.
It's actually a cabinet with a huge screen on top of it.
Well, it'd have to be 4D.
And all the games are linked to that big screen.
Okay.
What they've done is, this is the Wheel of Fortune game itself. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary. As a matter of fact, this game was introduced at G2E.
It's usually one of the first machines you see when walking onto a gambling floor. It's usually
not this game.
One.
Not a lot of places have this game.
A Wheel
yet.
of Fortune machine.
There is always a Wheel of Fortune
in the casino. The Wheel of Fortune
casino.
brand is very prevalent on gaming floors.
Well, Wheel of Fortune 4D is the latest in the slot franchise. Boy, I think it's like the 60th iteration of the game or something between online and retail.
Well, it's so popular. Everyone loves the Wheel of Fortune games.
It has a linked video screen on the top of the cabinet, which means the big cabinet, and then you have a screen across the top of it. And also, you can use hand gestures to play the game. It's touchless.
Whoa. How does that work?
You actually wave your hand, and it spins the wheels.
So you have to be very careful of where you place your hands or the movements you make with your hands.
Well,
right?
I think once the wheels start spinning, that's it.
Okay. So you can. It doesn't read every hand gesture in the world. Right?
There are certain hand gestures to make the reel spin on this game.
What happens if you lose and you make a certain hand gesture? Will it say something back to you?
I don't know, but that's a good question.
Because I made hand gestures at certain slot machines before.
And this is the interesting part. Getting 3 Wheel of Fortune symbols triggers the Wheel of Fortune bonus, and this is where the big link screen up top comes into play.
This is how the Alabama guy won.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
He got the Wheel of Fortune bonus. What happens is Vanna White appears on the big screen on top of the cabinet, congratulates you for getting to the bonus, and then she invites you to spin the wheel, and it appears. And I took a look at the YouTube presentation video that IGT put out for this. You actually play on your machine, and you spin the wheel by doing the spinning gesture with your hand, and on the big screen above it, the wheel spins too. So the other players playing alongside you get to watch it as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of interesting.
It's almost kind of a community kind of game.
Almost.
Okay. All right.
It's the way they had it set up in the demonstration was a 3-person cabinet set.
All right.
They're all next to each other. You know how some of the cabinets are around in a circle?
Yeah.
You can't do this with that.
Okay.
You actually have to have 3 in a bank.
All right.
Kind of thing. So you can actually watch the bonus game as it goes on. So the other 2 players that were with this person saw her win the 1.1 man. I'm sorry. Saw him win $1.163 million.
Wow. Good for him.
And It's always nice to see a new game.
Yeah, with the press this is getting, I mean, it's going to be a very popular game. So.
Well, we're going from brick and mortar to online.
All right.
And this is actually the first time we're going to be talking about the live online casinos.
Oh, there's one in Maryland. There's one in Philadelphia.
Well, that's the brick and mortar.
Okay.
They have the live online casino. Where it's legalized gaming, they have a real money casino online.
Okay.
Called live
so,
online.
So if this is online, it means it's in Pennsylvania?
It's in Pennsylvania.
Okay, the online casino was in Pennsylvania.
The one we're going to be talking about is in Pennsylvania. And Michelle Iannella from Pittman, New Jersey. They actually released the person's name.
Wow, congratulations.
This is kind of interesting because it's not just one slot win. It's multiple slot wins in a single day, winning $500,000.
So this wasn't a spin of a slot machine. This was the whole day worth of spinning a slot machine.
Let me put it this way. This woman had an incredibly great day playing online casino games at Live Online.
I'm thinking it was slots. Was it only slots, or was it all different kind of games?
According to the press release, it was only slots.
Okay.
It was only online slots. Now, I don't know what slots they were. They didn't release the names of the slots she won them on, but there was the largest single-day multiple slot jackpot put out there.
Congratulations.
So kind of an interesting little twist on the jackpot.
That's the great thing about living in New Jersey. Not only do we have our online and retail and brick-and-mortar casinos and sports books, but you know what? I live 10 minutes from the border, the Delaware River. You go over to Pennsylvania, and they have all their great casinos and all their great online casinos and their sports books. That's the greatest thing.
Now, the question I have, and the way the live casino in Philly is set up, it's part of the Xfinity Lives section of where all the stadiums are.
Yeah, they actually share a parking lot with the stadiums in Philadelphia.
I wonder if this was a person at one of the games.
Ooh, I didn't know that. Yeah, no,
they didn't say when, they didn't say where she was playing, whether she was home or out, whether she was on the
she's
casino
from New
property.
Jersey, so certainly she wasn't playing at home. So certainly she was visiting Pennsylvania.
She was in Pennsylvania somehow.
Yeah.
For some reason, whether or not she was at a game, whether she was in Xfinity Live.
I didn't even think of that, yeah.
She could have been anywhere in Pennsylvania.
That's the
playing
great thing about online casinos. You just got to be in the state.
But it was the largest single-day win on Play Live online casinos since the actual online casino launched in 2020.
Wow, okay.
Now, we did a couple slots. We're going to do some lottery because there's some interesting lottery stories that I found that probably need to talk about. And a Maryland woman.
Yeah, I just mentioned Maryland.
Says she had a craving for soup and sandwich, and she has that craving to thank for winning a $103,000 lottery jackpot.
Great.
64-year-old Abingdon woman went into the Wawa in Abington to get a soup and sandwich.
I've been to Wawas in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, never in Maryland. I didn't even know they were in Maryland, by the way.
Yeah, there's even a couple all the way down south. In Florida, they got a couple.
I heard Florida, they actually have tables and chairs at their Wawas. So I don't know. This is just
all the
hearsay
snowbirds,
here from
all
me.
the snowbirds wanted something from home, so they took Wawa with them. While she was waiting for the soup and sandwich to be prepared, she used a spare $20 bill and played some fast play lottery games. That's a scratch off.
Okay, all right. I was about to ask that.
One of the woman's tickets, the $10 lucky numbers ticket, ended up giving her the $103,000 progressive jackpot.
That's great.
And she wasn't aware of it, according to her, until she actually scanned the ticket in her Maryland Lottery smartphone app later in the day.
Huh. Okay.
She wasn't aware of it when she got her soup and sandwich. She enjoyed her soup and sandwich. Then she enjoyed her dessert of $103,472.
I love Wawa. Wawa is so great.
This woman really loves Wawa.
Let me tell you something. Next time I run into Wawa to get a Sizzly, I'm going to get a lottery ticket. By the way, no one knows what a Sizzly is now. No. Everyone who's listening to this, what's a Sizzly?
You can't say that anymore because a lot of people...
If I go to another state and say I'm going to Wawa to get a Sizzly, it sounds like I'm talking a different language.
If you're in the Mid-Atlantic, or if
I go to New England,
no,
go to Wawa to get a Sizzly, they don't know what the hell you're talking about.
That's another word that sounds funny from a New Englander.
Yeah.
So, moving over to Michigan, the Michigan lottery. A Michigan man said a dream he had about winning a lottery jackpot proved prophetic. He had the dream, and the next day he went and bought a scratch-off ticket and won $1 million just because of the dream.
That's interesting.
He bought the ticket from the Red Caboose wine shop in
It's almost like spooky.
Hamtramck.
It's almost like,
it's Halloween time. Might as well do something.
Boy, it's
He matched several numbers, and he thought he won about $100. Gave it to the cashier to check against the numbers. She had to do it a couple of times. From what I was reading in the story, she didn't believe the money was $1 million. She thought it was, she was reading it wrong, or the reader was off too. But she ran it a couple times, and it was proved that the dream came true of $1 million win.
I'm going to take some melatonin today and see if I can dream up some numbers.
Last but not least, we have a Canadian lottery story.
We've had a lot of Canadian lottery stories.
There's a lot of money being won up there. Now with single event sports betting, there are going to be even a lot more stories coming out from winners. A man has benefited from a double dose of good luck after winning just over $16 million U.S. after stumbling upon a lottery ticket he completely forgot he purchased. He was actually going on a trip, and he came across a ticket that he purchased back in August. This is in October now. And he totally forgot he had the ticket, and when he went to check it, he found out that he won 20 million Canadian dollars, which equals 16 million U.S.
Huh, okay.
He had lost it, forgot about it.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know what? I can't say he lost it. He put it away for safekeeping. He put it in his wallet and tucked it away.
Yeah.
Maybe he changed wallets. I don't know. But he was actually getting ready for a trip, and he came across this ticket, and it ended up being a $16 million winner.
Boy.
I keep saying 16, 20 million Canadian, 16 million U.S.
Okay.
But don't lose your tickets. Don't store them in a safe place and forget where you store them.
Look, this story is prompting me to look through my wallet just to make sure I don't
or
have
old
anything
wallets
in there.
Or
my
old
old
wallets.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week's Beatin the House. We always welcome press releases, news, whatever you have regarding casino wins, slot machine wins, online slot machine wins, betting, sports betting wins, Keno, bingo, whatever you want. info@turnpikesportsradio.com is our email address. Please keep those reports coming into us, and we'll keep doing this segment.
NFL picks are coming up, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Many folks lost their jobs and businesses. Others were furloughed, and some are working from home at reduced pay. Keeping up with your bills is not easy under these circumstances. If you have credit card debt and cannot keep up with your monthly payments, we at Debt Fix Pros are here to help. Give us a call to see how we can reduce your interest rates and lower your monthly payments. Protect your credit and let us help you find a solution that fits your needs. We, your friends at Debt Fix Pros, are here to help. Let us take care of your credit card debt so you can focus on what is really important. Call for a free phone consultation at 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. That's 800-919-6011. 800-919-6011. United we stand.
This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Pick segment is brought to you by BetMGM Online Sportsbook. Get ready to turn big plays into paydays. New customers, start with a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Simply sign up with promo code Turnpike, make a deposit, and place your first wager. If the bet loses, you'll receive the amount of your wager back in free bets. That's a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first deposit at BetMGM Online Sportsbook when using our code Turnpike when you register. Bet with confidence and go all in on all the action with the king of sportsbooks, BetMGM. Must be at least 21 years or old to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to the Week 8 Pro Picks segment for Turnpike Sports. As every week we pick 3 games each. We do either the spreads or the totals. No money lines here. And again, this week, like last week, we are going to be using BetMGM as the sports book that we'll be using. And also, please note, when we do our picks, we are using the Tuesdays spreads and totals.
Yeah.
So you're
always check the latest lines.
Odds will always change, but they will change, especially between Tuesday and Sunday morning.
You got injury reports. Now you have to think about COVID now. There's a lot of talk about that, so always check the lines before the games.
Well, speaking of injury reports, I got screwed last week because of an injury report. I had the Cleveland Browns, and that was before they took Baker Mayfield out of the game.
By the way, I had Cleveland Browns too, but I had them 3.5, and they won by 3.
I had the over 42, and they scored 31. The total, the two teams. So it was a matter of, I'm taking the hit. I'm not really complaining about it, but,
I did terrible. I did 0-2-1. I got another push. This must be the year for pushes for me. I've never had pushes like I've had pushes this year. And then I took Atlanta, and they won by 2, and I took them 2.5. So, it was a fun weekend for me.
Yeah. I went 0-3.
I went 0-2-1.
Let me tell you something. The last 2 weeks for me,
half points, by the way.
I have gone 1-5 the last 2 weeks.
Wow, you're in a slump.
I'm in a bad slump. I'm basically trying to hand the season off to you. But
I'm not picking it up and taking it. So
season to date, I'm 14-7. Still have the lead. You're 10-8-3.
All right.
Again, we're taking 3 games each. Spreads and totals only, no money lines. These will be up on the blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button. You'll see these in print form, and feel free to comment on them or contact us with your own picks. Last week you went first, so I'm going to start off this week. My first game is an AFC East matchup. Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are favored by 13.5, and the over-under is 48. Bills are coming into this game having scored over 31 points in each of their last 5 games, and in 3 of those last 5 have scored 38 or more. They also scored 31 points in their loss last week to Tennessee, which, by the way, was a great game when Tennessee stopped them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple little stats here. Over is 6-0 in their last 6 meetings in Buffalo, these two teams, and 5-1 the last 6 meetings between these two overall. The over is also 4-1 in the Dolphins' last 5 games overall. So, as you can see by the last 3 statements I made, the pick for me is the over 48.
All right, my first game is Green Bay Packers versus the Arizona Cardinals, who are favored by 6 with an over-under of 51. I think this one's going to be the game of the week. I really do, and I think it's going to be decided really in the last few minutes of the game. And I think, looking at all the stats and everything, I think this is going to be a relatively low-scoring game. All the trends, to me, are pointing that way. The under is 4-0 in the Packers' last 4 games. The under was hit 4 of the last 5 games for Arizona when they were favored. And the under is 5-1 in the last 6 games these teams played in Arizona. What other trends are there like that? So I'm doing the trend, and I'm doing the under.
Okay, my next game is the Tennessee Titans favored by 1 point at the Indianapolis Colts with an over-under of 49. Now, the Titans just handed both Buffalo and Kansas City losses over the last 2 weeks, and the Colts are also on a 2-game winning streak. They beat the Niners and the Texans pretty handily, as a matter of fact. But I think you can say the Titans may have played the better competition, and I really think Indianapolis may not be as good as people are starting to think they are. They are much better than they were at the beginning of the year. I'll give them that. One of the things I noticed in doing a little research here, the Colts are giving up over 120 yards rushing per game at home. And the Titans are coming in with a running back who is being considered as one of the possible MVPs of the season. He's on pace for 2,000 yards, Derrick Henry. I just think it's going to be very it's not going to be as cut and dry as Indiana. It's not that evenly matched, I don't think, anyway. The road team in this series is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6, and the favorite in the last 10 meetings between these two is 8-2 against the spread. So I'm going Titans and lay the points.
You know, let me tell you something. My next 2 games, I had to look twice at the lines the sportsbooks put out because I was just not understanding the lines and the relatively low number that was given out. So here's my first head scratcher that I thought the line was way too low. The New England Patriots versus the Los Angeles Chargers, which are favored by 5.5 points with an over-under of 48.5. The Chargers are a much more talented team than the Patriots. Right now, the Patriots fans are feeling really good about themselves after what they did to the Jets. But look, hey, it was the Jets, Patriots fans, and they had a replacement quarterback. Well,
after the starting quarterback got knocked out on 2 kind of borderline.
I know, hits. But look, you know, taking fandom out of the picture, it was the Jets. I mean, be happy with the win because you beat a team you should beat, but you know, don't go nuts about it. That's why it is crazy that the Chargers are only favored by 5.5 points. In their last 7 road games, the Patriots were 2-5 against the spread. And with a very average Patriots secondary, I think it's going to be difficult for them to slow down a very good Chargers offense. So I'm taking the Chargers and laying the points.
I would too. I don't understand that spread.
They should be favored by at least 7.
My last game for the week. Washington football team at the Denver Broncos. Denver's favored by 3, and there's an over-under of 43.5. Washington has lost 3 straight games against some very high-powered offenses: Green Bay, Kansas City, New Orleans. The Broncos, at the beginning of the season, they looked like they were headed in the right direction. They were playing extremely well. They actually, at one point, they were undefeated. And then Bridgewater had the concussion happen, and they've been kind of going downhill lately. They've been playing inconsistent. They've lost their last 4 games, and in those 4 games, they're 0-4 against the spread. So while the Washington football team, I want to say that other name that they were,
yeah.
But while the Washington football team is 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 games as an underdog, they're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 meetings against the Broncos. So I'm going with Washington, and they're the underdog, so +3.
I was going to take that game, but I saw another game that had a weird spread, and I didn't think it was right, and so I just jumped on it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are only favored by 5 points, versus the New Orleans Saints with an over-under of 50.5. I mean, the Buccaneers are clicking on all cylinders right now, and I'm very surprised. Like I said, it's only 5 points, and I think the Bucs defense is going to be pestering Jameis Winston all day, and I think will lead to some turnovers. In their last 5 games against the NFC South, the Buccaneers are 4-1 against the spread, and I think the Buccaneers are going to win this one by at least a touchdown. So I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and laying the points.
Well, this is a spread that's going to change by game time.
Yeah, well, I jumped on it.
If you get it early, get it early.
I jumped on it.
So let's recap. I went with the over 48 in the Miami-Buffalo game. I went with the Titans favored by 1 over the Colts. And I went with the underdog Washington football team +3 against the Denver Broncos.
All right, in the Green Bay Packers-Arizona Cardinals game, I'm taking the under 51 points, and I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers and laying the 5.5 points against the New England Patriots. And I'm taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm laying the 5 points against the New Orleans Saints.
The odd 5 points.
That should be at least 7. I mean,
it probably will be at game time.
It's just weird. So, hey, when you see spreads like that, you got to jump on it.
All right, these picks will be in written form on the blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog. You can always reach out to us as well with your own comments about these picks, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @TurnpikeSports and also @TurnpikeBets. Also, we're on Facebook @TurnpikeSports there as well, and Instagram @TurnpikeSportsRadio.
The book report is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Is your bathroom looking old and worn out? Want to update it, but you don't know where to start? Then let BCI Bath & Shower show you how to turn that old bath into an aisle of beauty and functionality. Our residential bathroom solutions provide the best value on the market, and our customer service is second to none. Our cost-effective BCI Bath & Shower family of products has what you need.
Remodeling our bathroom was a big decision for us.
They didn't make a mess out of our house at all. And at the end of the day, we had a beautiful new bathroom. And it was a great experience the whole way through.
We have the best monthly payment programs in the industry, with payments as low as $68 per month or no interest, no payments for 18 months. That's right. Get the bathroom of your dreams now and pay for it in 2021. Call 1-800-308-8291 for a free no-obligation price quote. That's 1-800-308-8291. When you want quality bathroom products at a great price, it's got to be BCI Bath & Shower. That's 1-800-308-8291.
Auto Accident Help Desk is a marketing agency connecting callers with attorneys. Providers pay a fee for advertising services.
I love getting my kids ready and driving them to school.
But a careless driver can change your life in an instant, and insurance companies want to settle on the cheap. Auto Accident Help Desk connects victims with powerful lawyers. They fight for you.
I called Auto Accident Help Desk and got help for my pain and suffering.
Don't let an insurance company take advantage of you. Our attorneys fight and beat big insurance every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
If you've been injured in an automobile accident in the last 6 months, you owe it to yourself to make this free call with no obligation. We're available 24/7 to help you get the money you deserve for your pain and suffering. Auto Accident Help Desk helps accident victims like you every day.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to another edition of the Turnpike Sports Book Report. As a matter of fact, it's our 200th episode of the Book Report this week. We're going to be talking about a bunch of new state and local numbers for sports betting for the month of September. We've got the launches. We've got our deals section we talk about. We've got legislation. Any of the stories we don't cover during this episode, as always, they'll be in print form, as well as other stories we didn't cover on the Turnpike Sports blog. Go over to turnpikesportsradio.com, click on the blog button, and you'll see the full week's version of the book report in print form. To start off with, we had some interesting numbers coming in with September. We had a high watermark for one state. But we have another state who is just going crazy. They just set state and national records.
Yeah, I think I think it's the state we're sitting in right now, right?
It is the state of New Jersey.
Yes.
New Jersey's September handle was $1.01 billion.
Unbelievable.
New Jersey is the very first state in this nation to pass the $1 billion mark for monthly sports betting handle.
Wow, that's incredible.
It's just kind of the way the state's been going. They have 22 sports books online. They have the retail books both in Atlantic City and North Jersey, and also at the racetracks. It's an industry that a lot of people are constantly amazed at. Some people thought maybe New Jersey was going to hit the $1 billion mark earlier on, especially back in December of 2020, where they had the previous record of $996 million. They came $4 million away from $1 billion back then.
I think everyone agrees that it was a matter of time when New Jersey got it. But, now that it finally hit the $1 billion mark, I mean, everyone's just amazed at the growth of sports betting, and not only in New Jersey, but everywhere in this country.
Well, think about it in terms of this. The September handle of $1.01 billion was 1.42% of the national post-PASPA handle overall since 2018.
Yeah, wow.
1 month was
incredible.
Almost 1.5% of the overall handle in the entire U.S. sports betting history. That's an incredible number.
It is. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And I guess everyone's attributing the high handle to the start of football.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's September. One other little note for New Jersey in terms of overall handle, they are $1.007 billion away to be the first state reaching $20 billion in post-PASPA handle.
Wow.
Now, that's kind of interesting because that means if they have another month like this, they're going to do it in October. They're definitely going to do it in November to hit the $20 billion mark.
Well, look, like I always say about New Jersey, it's population density. New Jersey, the very unique thing about New Jersey, is that it has more people per square mile than any other state in the union. So, we have Pennsylvania next to us. We have New York next to us. So it's one of those things. We have a lot of professional teams, and I'm not even going to mention the college teams because you really can't bet on them in New Jersey.
Yet, anyway.
So
we'll see what happens after Election Day.
But and the media drives it here too. I mean, like I said, we have New York media coming into our state, Pennsylvania media coming into our state, and there are so many betting shows and so much information, so much data that we have at our fingertips that, it's just absolutely incredible. And it's in front of you everywhere you go. I mean, you walk out of your house, it's radio shows like this and, TV shows, and you're driving down the highway, there's billboards everywhere. So it's everywhere.
Well, if you listen to New York, they're giving New Jersey 20% of their handle anyway.
Like I said, everyone in New Jersey is very interested to see what will happen when New York gets mobile sports betting.
I honestly don't know if that's going to make a difference. I think New Jersey's got its own industry. You may see a little drop-off, but I think you're looking at probably maybe another month, maybe 2 months of billion-dollar handles coming in the next couple of months here. So, I don't know.
October is going to be very interesting because not only we have the baseball playoffs, we have the start of hockey, we have the start of basketball, and we have football going on. Yeah. So, I'm very interested to see the October numbers for New Jersey.
Well, I think we may see another billion-dollar month there. I don't know.
We'll see.
Like I said, they've been flirting with $1 billion handle for quite a while, and
I'm certainly contributing to the
so am I.
Jersey,
But here are a couple other numbers. 91% of the September handle was online. So the mobile betting industry in New Jersey is very healthy.
Yeah.
This was also the state's 17th monthly handle of $500 million or more. Only Nevada has more, and that's 18. Mm-hmm. So we may see New Jersey surpass Nevada in that category as well.
Well, Nevada had a head start in sports betting. So
but,
we'll see.
Everyone focuses on the handle number, but New Jersey also set a record nationally for the more important number, which was revenue.
Okay.
New Jersey had the September the $1.01 billion in handle generated $82.4 million in sports betting revenue. That's a new national monthly record as well. Mm-hmm. So New Jersey's setting records everywhere. And it's kind of interesting to see exactly where New Jersey stands in all this. It was one of the first states to jump on board after PASPA was repealed, and it's taken the lead, and it's held on to that lead in really vigorous fashion.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm very interested to see how New York, when they jump in on mobile sports betting, how that's going to affect New Jersey's numbers. But we'll see. It's been a great ride for New Jersey.
Well, I mentioned another state having a high watermark, and that was Pennsylvania.
All right.
They came in with $578 million in September handle for sports betting. They are the third state to pass $9 billion in post-PASPA handle.
Wow. Okay.
So Pennsylvania's starting to make some noise, too, in terms of the sports betting numbers. They handle more so than the revenue and the taxes and all that.
Well, Pennsylvania is a huge state, and they have two pretty big cities in it. Well, actually 3. I'm going to count Harrisburg as. I was thinking Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but, Harrisburg's got some pretty big population numbers, too. So, a lot of people in Pennsylvania, and they love their sports betting.
Well, we're going to move on to some launches that have happened over the last week here. We have 2 launches involving Rush Street Interactive, but we're going to start off with the NFL.
Okay.
The NFL, and I'm going to read this strictly from the press release so I get this right, because this is an important launch that they did. The National Football League announced the launch of an extensive integrated league-wide responsible betting public awareness program.
Great.
Now, we've been talking all the way through, doing this show about Epic risk management and also the AGA's Bet Responsibly program.
Yep.
But this one is done, and also we have the 1-800-GAMBLER organization, too.
Sure.
This one is done with the National Council on Problem Gambling. And what this is going to be doing, it's a league-wide program that they're going to be doing for responsible betting. This is sports betting.
Mm-hmm.
The key message encourages people to play responsibly by sticking to a game plan. Always got to have a sports metaphor when you're dealing with a sports team. Setting your budget, limits for betting, using licensed regulated operators. One aspect of this is very interesting. The money that the NFL has provided to the National Council on Problem Gambling is going to go to a grant program that the NCPG is going to be instituting on both a state and a national level to create more problem gambling awareness programs and treatment centers throughout the country.
I think that's great because, like I just said, I mean, here in New Jersey, it is everywhere. It's right in front of your face, and if you have a problem with gambling, I mean, what's happening with the commercials and the billboards, it's not making it easy for anyone who has a problem with gambling. So I'm glad their NFL is stepping up and doing something.
Well, again, this is the individual teams are starting to do their own deals with the different problem gambling awareness programs out there. It's great to see a league-wide effort going on here. Now, I just mentioned at the top of this segment that we had 2 launches involving Rush Street Interactive. One everyone is completely aware of. That's with the official launch of online sports betting in Connecticut. They had the soft launch on October 12th. The formal launch after the soft launch and testing stage was October 19th. And it involved DraftKings, FanDuel, and Rush Street Interactive, but it's under the Play Sugar House brand. Mm-hmm. So, and I remember,
I keep asking the question. We talk about mobile betting in New York. I wonder if this will motivate them to move a little quicker because now they have New Jersey to the south, they have Connecticut to the north of them, and it's just as easy for New York bettors to drive over, take that 5-minute drive to Connecticut to do it like they take that 5-minute drive to New Jersey. So I wonder if this will motivate New York a little more.
Well, funny you should mention New York. They just released the tax rate matrix,
which probably complicates things more.
Well, they by the time this airs, the deadline will have passed. The applicants had until October 25th to either adjust their bid according to the tax rate matrix, or just decline to do the tax rate matrix and withdraw their bid.
Those tax rates are staggering.
Well,
for tax,
again,
look, I mean, New York is going to make a lot of money, and even the sports books are going to make a lot of money, even with this tax rate, because it's New York and the population is huge there. But there's pretty big tax rate.
Well, again, it's a matrix. It's not really a set tax matrix, a set tax rate. Everyone was looking at the ultimate high level mark of 64% tax rate.
Yeah.
But that's based upon certain aspects of how you figure out the tax rate. The matrix has the number of operators, the number of platforms, and you do a little formula to get to whatever the rate is. So it really doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be 64%. By the way, just saying that doesn't even make sense to me.
There's a glitch in the matrix, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
That's been a joke that's being thrown around because
right.
It's just it's a complicated situation that was made unnecessarily more complicated by this matrix.
Look,
and I understand what New York wants to do.
Let me tell you something. For sports betting companies, New York is such a huge prize. Oh my God! Regardless of what the tax rate is, these sports betting organizations are going to make a ton of money with New York because that we're talking about how New Jersey's doing. New York might be right there with them. New Jersey might even surpass New Jersey. Who knows? But it's such a prize for these online sportsbook companies that I'm sure they're willing to pay anything.
Well, especially some of the new ones like Fanatics.
Sure.
Who just launched an entire new division on gaming and betting.
Yeah.
And, New York is the crown jewel.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Until probably California comes into play.
Look, New York is the media capital of the world. It's the business capital of the world. And, it's going to make a play for being the sports betting capital of the world. Who knows?
I still think when California comes into play, that's going to change an awful lot because there's, 9 professional sports teams there. They're going to have a whole bunch of, different plans out there that they're trying to do. They've got a couple initiatives going. I think New York better get their act together pretty quick because I think, like I said, once California comes into play, you may see that take over from New York. I don't know if anyone's going to catch New Jersey, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
Who knows? I don't see Nevada coming back out of this to take over from New Jersey. Pennsylvania, Florida maybe. I just don't see.
Don't know.
But anyway, going back to our launches, we went right off on a tangent on that one. But it was a good tangent because it was New York State. The other launch involving Rush Street was the launch of the social gaming platform Casino for Fun in Ontario.
Casino for Fun, huh?
It's a free-to-play online casino and sportsbook.
Okay, it's social, huh?
Yeah, all mobile devices, tablets, desktop, laptop computers. And this is, I saw this in the press release, and I don't know if this is the right way to phrase the description of the people that live in Ontario. Ontarians?
Ontarians.
I don't know. But it sounds like some alien, Ontarians.
I saw Anchorman the other day. San Diegoans.
Well, anyway, Casino for Fun. It's age 19 and older. BetRivers.net.
Okay.
It's not BetRivers.com like it is for the sports books in the United States. BetRivers.net. So when BetRivers actually does get a license in Ontario, they'll probably just flip that to BetRivers.com too.
Okay.
So we have those two launches. We talked earlier in the Turnpike Sports main program about Princess Cruises launching the Ocean Sportsbook.
Yes.
Which is kind of interesting. I still find that very interesting to see a mobile sportsbook on a cruise ship. Because you go out, 7 miles, international waters?
I don't know. We should find that out to see how far out you have to be to start gambling.
Well, a couple other launches. We have the Caesars app. And this was late Friday that they announced it.
This is Louisiana, right?
Louisiana.
All right.
They launched the app. It's live and running up in Louisiana right now. The press release also mentioned 3 retail locations coming.
Okay.
The retail sports books for Caesar Sports are planned at Harrah's, New Orleans, and the Horseshoe, Bossier City. Okay. Those 2 are actually pending regulatory approval, whenever that is.
That's a great casino. Harrah's, New Orleans. We were there, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Those 2 are going to be launching this year once they get approval. There's another one, the Harrah's Lake Charles property. They're going to be rebranding that to, I think it's a Caesars Lake Charles, and it's going to have a Caesars Sportsbook. That's going to be next year in 2022 sometime. And it's also going to have a WSOP-branded poker room, too.
Great.
So, a little poker there. Kind of a fun launch here. We have PointsBet opening up the PointsBet Sports Bar and Restaurant in Detroit, Michigan.
I asked you about this because in New Jersey we went to, what's that golf thing? Topgolf.
We went to a Topgolf.
Yeah, Topgolf,
with a PointsBet bar.
Which has the PointsBet bar.
This is on the outside. There's no other restaurant name.
This is just
PointsBet bar.
PointsBet bar. Okay.
Yes. Right. It has their branding on the outside, their big letters, everything. They had a ribbon cutting ceremony. It's located on the south side of the Little Caesars Arena. It's a 7,200 square foot bar. It's going to have TVs all around it with PointsBet odds and stats integrated into the broadcast there. Obviously,
yeah.
I mean, I can't see them having some other sportsbook doing it, but they're also going to have betting themed or points betting themed menu entrees like the Parlay Burger.
Parlay Burger. I'm guessing it's different meat or the same. Different levels of meat or something like that?
I would think...
See, I was thinking like 3 beef patties or something like that.
I was thinking a plain burger to start with, then one topping is a 2-leg parlay.
Oh,
2 toppings is a 3-leg parlay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm assuming they might be online, so let me check it out.
Yeah, the menu's going to be there. So
okay.
Moving over to some deals. Oh, wait, one other thing before we get into it, and not too much depth into this conversation because we still don't know exactly how it's going to go, but FanDuel founder Nigel Eccles, the former founder of FanDuel, Nigel Eccles, announced that his next project called BetDex would be and this is his quote, decentralized sports betting exchange that would bring crypto to sports betting and revolutionize the industry for consumers.
I think crypto.
That's great media speak.
Let me tell you something. Crypto is the next big thing to hit sports betting. I mean, and certainly it's very interesting to see sports betting exchanges start to come into the public discussion about sports betting. So it's an interesting thing.
We've got a bunch of deals to talk about. We're going to hit one in particular that I think is actually probably, this one may actually change the way the industry looks at everything. Sport Radar did a partnership with a company called Admoni, ADMONI.
Okay.
And this is to bring sports betting data out of the home and onto outdoor locations, outdoor marketplace locations, like billboards.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I saw some of the conceptualizations of
how about
this.
like malls and stuff like that?
Well, any place you see like a billboard, outdoor advertising, you're actually going to see Sport Radar's data up there in terms of a line. You can see a line.
You got to watch that driving down, the Garden State Parkway or the Turnpike or stuff like that. You don't want people reading the lines off of the billboards.
Well, that's what they're planning on doing.
Okay.
That kind of stuff.
Should be interesting.
It's probably going to introduce a whole new level of responsible gaming issues too. There's going to be driving accidents possibly.
Well, I don't know that, but
I don't know. But
you got to be careful. You certainly don't want to look at your phone for the lines, and I don't know how detailed you can get on a billboard. And
let me tell you,
I would think stores or malls and things like that would be great.
They had a conceptualization drawing, one on a billboard,
okay,
one on this, like in Times Square.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, one of those things.
Yeah,
it filled the entire screen, and it was a game line.
Oh, that's great.
That's that kind of stuff, it's going to be one of those things.
You're betting on your phone, so if you're out shopping at the supermarket or at the mall or just running around in stores and things like that, to have a line flash by you, it was great.
Yeah. It's
like I said, you can bet anywhere.
That may actually change the way you see some of these things, more so than the billboards of the regular sports books out there. Or, all these commercials that we're seeing for everything, or even when the pop-ups when you go to news sites.
It'd be great, the lines at toll booths. You're slowing down anyway. No, you're slowing down anyway. You have your Easy Pass there. You're slowing down. You have these things going across. I was, oh, my God. Okay,
so basically,
I can see the lines right
there.
So
would you want to hook your Easy Pass into signing up for a sports book?
Yeah, right.
You're hooking it into your bank account anyway, or a credit card. Might as well,
I'm just
take
saying,
the next step.
I'm just saying, if you want to read lines and you're going at a slow pace on the highway, you're slowing down anyway for the toll, and you might as well get the lines while you're slowing down.
Last one for the day, because we're running short on time. Fubo Gaming announced a deal to become an authorized gaming operator of NASCAR. It's Fubo's first partnership in motorsports, and its third professional sports deal following the Jets and Cavaliers deals. You're going to see Fubo at branding at track sites through the NASCAR app, and also Fubo's going to have NASCAR logos and IP on their side too when they launch their sports betting stuff.
Great.
A whole bunch of other deals. You have Bet365, we have Betway, Chalkline Sports. They're all going to be on the written version of the Turnpike Sports book report. Go to turnpikesportsradio.com and click on the blog to see this week's full report in print version on our blog.
That'll do for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.